Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at the features of the XTR-695SE laser radar detector from Whistler. First thing I'm going to show you over here on the side is the power button, which is also the volume control. The wheel turns one way for volume up and the other way for volume down, but if you push the wheel in like the button, that's going to turn the unit on and off. On the top of the unit here we've got our low profile alert periscopes and our control buttons, dark, quiet, city, and menu. And on the front here, this is where we're going to have our display. Let's go ahead and turn it on, and when we do so, it's going to go through a power on self-test. It's going to show us what the alerts look like and sound like. So let's go ahead and see what happens there.
X band, K band, KA band, laser.
Okay, as you can see, it kind of files through a few different of the settings and shows us some of the options and how they're set. Once it gets done, it's going to show us here that we've got our compass and our highway setting. So the first button I want to take a look at here is the dark button. Now this is going to serve us a couple of different options. If we press the button and hold it down, it's going to cycle through the different illumination settings. It'll show two items on the screen. The first one is going to be the setting for the brightness when the detector is idle, when it's not alerting. And then the second one will show the brightness for the display when the unit is alerting. So I'll press and hold this down and let you see how that looks. So as it cycles through these, what we'll do is we'll find the one that we want, and when we get there, we'll go ahead and let go of the button. Alright. Next thing we want to show is the quiet button. This is going to serve a couple of different functions also. When you press the button during an alert, it's going to mute that alert and then anything within 20 seconds of it. So we'll go ahead and trigger an alert and let you see how that functions. And if we press the quiet button, as you can see, the alert still shows on the screen, but we're not getting any more sound. If we go ahead and press the quiet button again while the alert's still active, it'll bring back our audio. Okay, and once the alert is passed, we go back to our normal display. Now if we press the quiet button before we get an alert while the unit is idle, it's going to put us in the auto quiet mode. What that's going to do for us is we'll get a few moments of our normal volume, and then the volume will drop down to the lowest setting. So let's go ahead and press that.
Auto quiet.
It announces that we're in the auto quiet mode, and then when we trigger an alert,
X band.
you can see the audio drops way down. Alright, and once that alert passes, again we're back to our normal display. And if you listen when I press the quiet button one more time, it'll beep twice, and that lets us know that we've turned the auto quiet off. Okay, next let's take a look at the city button. Like I showed you before, we're defaulted in the highway mode, and if we press the city button one time, that'll get us in city mode.
City mode.
And this is going to have the same sensitivity as highway mode. The only thing that's going to change is your audio alert. So when we do get an alert, it'll still show everything on the screen, but we're only going to hear two beeps. And if we press the city button one more time, it's going to put us in the City 1 mode.
City 1 mode.
And you can see it says C1 low X. And that lets us know that the X-band sensitivity is decreased, but we will get our normal audio tones just like we are in highway mode. Next time we press the city button will be City 2.
City 2 mode.
And we can see it says City 2 no X. So this tells us that the X-band detection is completely disabled. But again, we do get our normal tones just like in highway. Press the city button one more time, we'll get two beeps, and we're back in highway. Okay, next is going to be our menu button. The menu is where we're going to set a lot of the different options for this unit. The first thing that we're going to come to is the calibration mode. This is for our compass, and what we'll do to begin calibration is to press the dark button and the quiet button simultaneously. And when we do that, it's going to show on the screen, it says drive in 2 complete circles. So we'll have the detector mounted on our windshield. When we do this, we'll drive in 2 circles, we'll get 2 beeps, and it'll tell us cal done. We can also manually end the calibration process by just pressing the dark and quiet button simultaneously again. And it tells us cal done with 2 beeps. Alright, next on the list is going to be combo. There's several different ways that we can set this. Combo lets us know that we've got both the radar detector active and the compass. We can set it to where just the compass is active and the radar detector is completely turned off. If you have it in this mode, the compass will show on the display, but you will not receive any alerts. The next option here is radar. So that tells us the radar detector is active, so we will get our alerts, but we won't show the compass on the screen. The default, again, is the combo with both active. The next two options here, S1 power, S2 quiet, these have to do with the optional IntelliCord accessory. That's not going to be shown in this video, so we'll go ahead and skip past those. Next is going to be tone 3. In this setting you can change the audio tones, the way that the unit sounds when it alerts. Our next option here is going to be test yes. This controls the audio. You can turn off the sound during the power on self-test. And next here we've got our selectable bands. So we can turn on and off the X band, K band, KA, and laser individually. These are all defaulted to on. When we get to our KA band, you can see we've got several more options. We've got the KA Max ID is our default. That tells us we've got the KA Max mode turned on and the radar signature ID. We can set it with just the KA Max mode. We can turn the KA band off altogether. Just the KA band is active, or just the KA band with radar signature ID. And we're back to a default of KA Max ID. Next we've got our laser. It is set to normal by default, or we can turn on the laser signature ID. Alright, next SR off. This stands for safety radar. Sometimes it's also called the safety warning system. This is off by default, but if it is used in your area, you can turn this on. Okay, and the next option on the list is going to be voice on. This is going to turn on or off the voice alerts. Even if you turn the voice alerts off, you will still receive your normal audio alert tones. Next on the list is going to be pop on. This is a type of instant on radar. Next setting here is going to be our battery saver, BSVR. It's defaulted for 3 hours. It can be set to 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, or it can be turned off altogether. What this will do is if there are no buttons pressed within that time limit, it will turn the detector off. Next is going to be our filter setting. We've got 3 different filter settings to choose from: filter, filter 1, and filter 2. The default is just regular filter. The next is going to be LED blink. This is going to control the function of the alert periscopes on the top. They're defaulted to flash whenever you get an alarm. You can set these where the LEDs are always on, always off, or of course the default where they blink with an alert. Next option, BTN off. This is going to control the soft touch illuminated buttons on the top of the detector. By default they are not lit up. You can set them also to blink with an alert, or you can set them to where they're always illuminated. The next option is going to be for our backlight colors. We're going to have several backlight color options here in a row. The first one is for the color when the unit is idle. Next is going to be our X-band backlight color. Next is going to be our K-band backlight color, and our KA backlight, and our laser backlight color. Each of these different bands can be set individually. And that is all of the options in our menu. We get back to our CAL mode here. Okay, so if we want to exit the menu and save our settings, we can just let the unit sit idle for about 20 seconds. It'll beep twice and then go back to showing whether we're in highway or city. Or if we want to exit manually, we can give one press to the power button here. The unit will beep twice, and that lets us know that the settings have been saved and we've exited the menu. So there we go. Alright, so this has been a feature set for the XTR-695SE radar detector from Whistler. You can check out more of our videos at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Whistler Group Inc. And thanks for watching.